Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Just in case you don't know who I am, you probably don't, right? My name is Rock, R-O-C, and I'm a person with lived experience. I'm an ex-crackhead, ex-dope fiend, ex-alcoholic, all the above, right? And I got 4 years sober, and I have a sponsor. I've made a beginning of all the steps, and I also I'm a program manager at a recovery home, so I've seen a lot of things, right? So what I want to do, what I have done is created this channel where I can reach out to individuals and show them the path that I took. These are only suggestions. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I'm just going to be sharing my experience, strength, and hope, and show you things that I've learned and things that I'm doing to this day to stay clean and sober and also have a better life. Because once we get away from the drink or the drug, it's still some work to do, right? Just stop drinking and drugging is not enough. For any man or woman that's in recovery, we have a whole life to live. God has blessed us with another life to live, right? We get a chance to live 2 lifetimes in one. So if you're new here and you want to see my next video when it pops up, hit that subscribe button. Also press like and press the like thing, and also put in the messages or in the chat or whatever that thing is, any questions that you might have. I'm here for you guys. I'm gonna do my best, and this is just not for you guys. It's for me, because the more I give to you guys, the more I get a chance to keep it, because it helps me remember some of the things I need to be doing, right? Things give me a chance to go back into the books and study all the literature. I have the NA book, I have the AA book. I'm not a representative of none of these places. I'm just sharing my experience, strength, and hope, and the things that I've learned. So I do not represent AA, NA, or any A at all. I'm just a normal guy, a regular motherfucker just like y'all, and I'm working to become the best possible person I can. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about how I apply recovery principles to everyday life, right? We're gonna talk about daily inventory, right? And it says, continue to take personal inventory, and when I was wrong, I promptly admit it, right? And for me, this was a challenging thing for me to do early on, but it gets easier. It got easier as I went further into it, right? Or time went past, as I should say. The first time I had to do it, it was rough. I still can remember like it was yesterday. I was at work. I was working at a bakery at the time, right? And I was like a supervisor. And some employees is not hardworking like other ones, I should say. And they can be jerks sometimes, right? So my job was to supervise individuals and tell them what to do and how to do it and all that type of stuff. If you know, you know, right? And I had this one individual, a young guy, he's probably like 22 years old, and I told him, don't you supposed to be doing this? Why are you on your phone? And he got all over my face. You gotta remember, I was 49 at the time. He was like 22. And you know, these young people these days, they'll just pull out a gun and shoot you. So he was all up in my face talking about, don't you know who I am? And this, not. I'm like, bro, and I slid up in his face like, bro, what? You don't know who I am, right? I let my ego take over the situation, right? But the program kicked in, and it said pause. So what I did, I paused, I took a breath, walked out to the back. At that time, I was smoking cigarettes. I went out and smoked me a cigarette, got on the phone, and called my sponsor. And I explained to him what was going on. He said, bro, you got to do some work right now. You got to go in there and apologize for the part you played in it. I'm like, what you mean? Dude's supposed to be doing this. He's sitting on his phone. You know what I mean? What are he being lazy? He said, you went and you got in his face. I said, yeah. He said, go back in there and apologize to him, right? The part you played in it. Let him know that you apologize because you shouldn't have got in his face like that. And I said, wow. I was reluctant to do it, but I remember that everything that my sponsor and the other people that's in recovery have suggested for me to do or told me to do, I did it. It always turned out well, right? So I went in and did it reluctantly and just trust the process. I went in there and told the young guy I apologize for getting in his face and sliding in his face and intimidating or trying to intimidate him, right? Because I don't think I really did. He probably had one of those things in his backpack, whatever, right? And it worked out. As time went on, we ended up being not best friends, but actually friends, right? And he's a young guy, and I understood where he was coming from. He ain't no punk, right? Just like I ain't no punk, but it all worked out. And at the end, I get a chance to go to sleep at night because I know I didn't harm anybody, right? So just listening to people in recovery and let them teach me how to live was a great thing. That was a great experience for me. Now it's so easy for me to go and apologize to people when I understand I've wronged them. Because sometimes I can say things to people and it can wrong them or harm them and I don't even know it. But sometimes I have to go back and apologize for it. That's what the first lesson I've learned from that. And it worked out. So I continue to do it today. That's just my experience, right? And we'll go to page 84 and it says, we're still talking about the daily inventory thing. And it says, we continue to take personal inventory and we set right any new mistakes as we go along the way. Just like I was saying, anytime I make a mistake, I'm human, so I may lie without even thinking about it because I'm still messed up, right? So I might, lie about something, and because I don't want to be embarrassed because of my ego. Once again, I don't want to go back and say, hey, you know what? That wasn't that wasn't all the way right. This is the truth. It's okay to do that because I understand that the more bullshit I get out of my backpack, all that stuff that's weighing me down, I feel more free. I feel more alive. I can look people in their eyes, right? Because I'm free of all that shame, guilt, and resentments and remorse. I'm free of all that stuff, but I have to do it on a day-to-day basis. And that's what they're talking about in this book. If you want to know, we're on page 84 in the big book, right? And it also says that we have entered the world of the spirit, We have entered the world of the spirit, right? If you know, you know. Our next function is to grow in understanding and self-effectiveness, right? And it says this is not an overnight matter, right? It's telling you right there. I see myself in this book all the time. It ain't lied to me yet, right? So it says it is not an overnight matter. So that means it's going to take some time for me to get used to going to righting wrongs, right? Going back and apologizing to people, right? And it says I have to grow in understanding and self-effectiveness, right? And I have to do that if I want to learn or I want to be able to help other people. This is going to block the spirit, right? It's going to block the spirit because I won't be able to help people because I still got garbage inside of me, right? So I have to clean out all that garbage if I want to be effective, right? And also on page 83, and it says, if we are painstaking, right, about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we all halfway through. I'm gonna say it again because I kind of started. It says, if we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. And it's saying right there, it's a phase of development. For me, I have to have a phase of development because I'm not used to structure. I'm not used to doing things the right way. I'm not used to being quote unquote human because anything that I did, I was expecting to get something back, right? In recovery these days, I'm looking to see how I can help my fellow man, right? So this is development. I'm developing into a better man. I develop a better person, a better boyfriend, a better nephew, a better son, a better cousin, uncle, whatever the case may be, a better employee. I'm developing to be a better whatever / ... right? So this I have to go through this. I'm gonna be amazed before it's all halfway over, and I'm very amazed. I done accomplished and did more in the last 4 years of my life than I've done in the last 40 years. And over 35 years of that, I was addicted to drugs and alcohol. Recovery is so amazing, right? It gives me a chance to live a better life, right? We're going to go into step 11 because I don't want to keep you guys here long. We're going to talk about prayer and meditation. Salt through prayer and meditation. We're on page 85. And it says morning prayer and meditation. 85, right? Where we at? 85. Oh, here we go. I love this part right here. This is the part where sometimes I forget. So I have to do this just so I can bring it into my memories of what we've run the day before. So it says, when we retire at night, we constructively review our day, right? Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Questions we have to ask ourselves. That I have to ask myself. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Did we owe an apology to someone? We talked about that, right? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Those are some of the things, when you laying down at night and it's replaying in your head over and over again, and it's making you feel some type of way about it. Those are things we need to pick up the phone or talk to somebody about. and talk to somebody about my sponsor or somebody close that you know that understands you and understand what you may be going through. We have to get that stuff out. We have to shame the devil, right? Because I believe that the devil or the enemy per se will use that against you to have you acting out in a certain way that you don't want to. Put in the chat if you know what I'm talking about, right? Sometimes as an alcoholic, I could turn a molehill into a mountain. Once now I was asking them, were we kind and loving? Were we kind and loving towards all people, right? What could we have done better for the day? Might have been at work. I half-assed for the day, right? I didn't do everything that my boss suggested or asked me to do. I half-assed it. I took extra breaks, took extra cigarette breaks. I didn't send that email I was supposed to send out. Did I do everything I could do for the day to be the most productive person I can in any part of my life, right? Just an example. Or were we thinking of what we could do for others? Was we thinking about what we could do for others? It says of what we could pack into the stream of life, right? It's basically what it's saying is, was we thinking about how we can help others and what we can give to the world, right? How could we help the next person? They may need our help. It could be a person that's in the fellowship, somebody that's struggling, right? It could be a friend, a family member. It could be a stranger. How can we give back? Because I'm learning or have learned that recovery is not about taking. Like I said before, it's about giving. I done took enough. If you're anything like I was a low down dirty, right? You know what I mean? I don't matter. It doesn't matter how good of a person I thought I was, but the addiction would allow me to be nothing but a taker. And I harmed people. I stole from people, right? You know what I mean? I ain't go to jail for like murder or anything like that. But what I'm saying, people don't go around stealing out their mama purse. People don't go around just stealing out of Walmart. People don't go around, stealing people's bikes, right? People don't go around robbing a dope man. It's stuff like that, right? People don't go around normally doing that. People don't be lying, cheating, and stealing just to get one more. And these are some of the things that I did. In and out of jail, in and out of institutions, right? I ain't been in jail or even looked at the police in over 7 years, which is awesome. I still get nervous when they pull me over for a ticket, right? I still get nervous. I don't know. Flashback, PTSD. Funny as hell. So we're going to go down to service work. We'll just see, it's all running into each other. If you read this book, the AA book, right, what I love about it, it starts from the first steps all the way to the 12, right? And it's all in order. So they all interact with each other and it's like steps. It's the reason why it was important for me to work through the steps with a sponsor, because they showed me how to do it the right way. Because just reading the book myself, I wouldn't understand none of this stuff, right? Because I can't use the same brain that kept me sick to get me sober. I had to help somebody, get somebody else's help. But if you notice by reading the book, it's got a flow to it, right? So if you're doing everything properly, you will learn how to do things the right way, per se, right? If it's for you, learn a better life, right? And we're just talking about, this is going on to step 12, but it's still into action, right? We got to take action about our lives. Service, helping others in a foundation, helping others is the foundation stone of our recovery. And that's on page 97. And what else it says? Holding doors, listening to others, sponsorship, and volunteering. Basically the things I was just saying, right? And it says, here I just underline something, it's helping others is the foundation stone of your recovery. A kindly act once in a while isn't enough, right? You have to act the good Samaritan every day, right? So you see how it goes together, right? And practicing these principles, like in all my affairs, it makes it easier. This is the reason why I and probably millions of others, we go to sleep with some peace and wake up with some hope, because I'm not stressing about nothing. Don't get me wrong, things show up in our lives. You know what I mean? We still got bills. We got situations, because we can't control the outside world, right? It's just all about how I react to outside entities. But majority of the time, 80% of the stuff I get a chance to control. Outside of what God doing for me that I can't do for myself, I can control how I feel, how I react, right? What I do, how I respond to the things that I'm thinking about, right? This is the greatest challenge of an alcoholic and addict like myself, because the alcohol and the drug was not the problem. It was my solution. My problem was my thinking. right? How I responded. I don't want to feel this way, so I'm going to put something on top of it, right? I don't want to act this type of way, so I'm going to put something on top of it, right? I don't want to do, I don't fit in, so I'm going to put something on top of it so I can fit in now. If you know, you know, right? And this is a great thing that I love about 12-step programs, right? To me, it doesn't matter like what type of program you have. Some people go to church. Some people just stop because of something that drastic happens in their life. They might have health issues. Their kids get taken away. I know a lady that was on smoking crack for 20 years. And she stopped when they took her kids away from her. She ain't never went back yet. And it talks about that in the book, right? It talks about that in the doctor's opinion. How different levels of different types of people, different type of alcoholics. If you love this type of content, please subscribe and also share this with somebody you like. Also like this video and leave a comment. Ask me a question or tell me something that you might want me to put in the next videos. But most importantly, as you go out through your day, through your night, through your evening, remember, relapse is not a fucking option. Rock. Peace.